Hey, this video is going to be a little bit darker because I'm in my office and I don't have as good of lighting. But the one you had a question about was section 2.1, and it was problem number 10. So it says use a graphing calculator to find the intervals on which the function is increasing or decreasing. And they give you this graph right here, or this equation, and they tell you they only want it from -9 to 9. That's because if you sub any number less than -9, like let's say I sub in -10, I would have 81 minus -10 squared, which would give me 81 minus 100. That would be a negative under a square root, and we can't have that. So the only range that this graph is even available, or that you can actually graph this, is between -9 and 9. So when we go to graph this, you type it in your calculator just like you see it. So I have x times the square root of 81 minus x squared. And if I do the normal zoom 6, it just looks like a straight line. So that tells me I'm not seeing everything. I need to zoom out. So if you zoom out one time, you'll see this graph. So it kind of makes this shape where it's like a curve. So it kind of goes like this where it's curved. And it's asking me to determine where the graph is increasing. So if I look at where it's increasing, this was your wrong answer right here. I think that's what you answered, which was wrong. But so ignore that. So if I'm looking for where it's increasing, it's decreasing until it gets to this point, then it's increasing until it gets to this point. So what you have to do is figure out what this point and this point are. This is a minimum. This one is going to be a maximum. So to find the min and max on your calculator, hopefully you can see all the steps. I know it's got a bad glare to it. So you hit second trace, and I'm going to find the minimum first. So I go down to number 3. To find the minimum, I need to take my cursor to the left. So it's hard to see on the calculator, but my cursor's here. On the paper, my cursor, my little blinky thing, would be to the left of the minimum. Press enter. Go to the right of the minimum, so somewhere in here. I'm going to go to the right, and I'm going to press enter again, and one more enter, and this value is -6.3639, and I think that should be enough. Alright, so that value is -6.3639 for the minimum. You would do the same thing for the maximum. Second trace, max. You go to the left of the maximum, you press enter. You go to the right of the maximum, you press enter, one more enter, and it gives me this value is 6.3639. And then the problem is asking you to round to 3 decimal places. So if you had to round this to 3 decimal places, the farthest point left is -6.364, comma. The farthest point right is +6.364, and that would be the answer to this question. So it's more of getting the zoom right on the calculator and finding out how to use the min and max functions of the calculator. Hope this helps. Let me know if it doesn't.